Hello everyone, my name is Ziki and thank you so much for joining me. Now, let's take a look at what is happening in our neighboring country, Zambia. Zambian President Hakainde Hichilema held a lengthy press conference where he was answering questions from various local and international media. He refuted claims that his government was failing to deliver its election campaign promises as cost of living was now very high. He also implored members of the media not to be biased on their reporting of issues that are happening in the country. Among other things discussed, he spoke of Africa's permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council. He also spoke of the issues of immigration, where he said he was shocked on the loss of 27 foreigners who died on their way to South Africa and their bodies were discovered in Lusaka, Zambia. To that and more, let's listen to what he said in this clip that I've attached for you. For those of you who are new to the channel, please subscribe and stay. And to those who are returning, thank you so much.
Zambia-US relations. With the reset with Zambia-China relations. I don't want to go into details here, but each of these countries know what we're discussing. Paramount global peace and stability. These are the two big economies. They have a duty to keep the world safe for us small countries. That's my message. Follow what I said at the at the US Africa Summit, Leader Summit. I said it openly there that the debate on Africa's permanent membership on the Security Council is as old as 40 years. This is the time to resolve it. And because I'm new in this role, I use that excuse that I'm ignorant and play that. You can forgive me. I have not been there in your negotiation, but I think it's time for Africa to be represented at the global governance stage. Who are the big people, the big countries there? It's US, it's China, it's Europe, it's Japan. That's our message. On behalf of the people of Zambia, and we believe Africa in a small way. I'm not the president, the chairman of African Union. I'm just a small piece saying what I think many other Africans would like to say. 1.4 billion people is what Africa is. How can we not sit at the table where things are being discussed about Africa? How? How will you devise a solution about Africa if you don't hear Africa? I have said officially that Africa must be represented at the G20, and the G20 should become G21. Where am I fighting Zambia fighting China? Where am I fighting US? Where am I fighting Russia? Where am I fighting Japan? Where are we fighting? We're not fighting anybody. We are resetting our relationships, but first anchored on peace and stability. The big nations have a role to secure the world. I think that's a noble use. But it's also true that we're a democratic country. We've shared democratic values. But it's also true that we have a special relationship with China. I've already said it. So former ministers saying those things is because there are some of them who are supplying air to government and they want to be paid to parrot around things that are actually incorrect and create insecurity in a country that is stabilizing. How come you destabilize the country? How come you lamented the growth? Truthfully, sometimes we must be honest and have a bit of a sense of shame, just to keep quiet and allow the UPND to clean your mess. You messed this country up. Just keep quiet for a while. Have a bit of a sense of shame, if that's all you need. So, we should not be digressed by people who have other issues. No. Let's stay the course. We are friends of Seychelles, very small island nation. Seychelles is threatened by global warming. We must support Seychelles so that that island does not disappear. We must conduct ourselves properly and reduce the emissions temperature 1.3, 1.5 degrees centigrade. We have a responsibility That's why we must generate more hydro energy, more solar, and not fire more coal power stations to reduce the need. We must look after our forests. That's our duty to small nations, to weak nations like us, to countries that want to learn from the progress Vietnam is making today. Frank, I must say, we're learning from them. Learn the lessons of Singapore in the early days. Learn the lessons of how China has brought its people out of poverty so quickly. That's why we respect the Chinese leadership. We respect Deng Xiaoping for the work that they did to turn that country, to sow the seeds. Earlier I was talking about sowing the seeds here. That's what we're doing. We're friends, to peaceful nations, those that will cooperate, those that will open their markets to us, those that will bring us technology, those that will bring us capital at a lower price. Africa, Frank, is paying a higher cost of capital per dollar. Why should we be discriminated as a continent? Why do we pay more for a dollar than Europe, than America, than China? No, that's not right. Africa should feed itself. Sometimes we also like blaming other people as a continent. We have a duty to clean ourselves up, to be less corrupt, not to Sagatwandalam. Let us use public money properly, effectively. I have extended my answer to deal with, Frank, your issues. Because I have a lot of respect for you. I'm sure you are raising those issues because you hear what people are saying. Visibility. Hey, styles are different, but I hear you. We will improve, we should improve on our communication. Give us advice, Frank. You know what we should do. We know what we should do. Just hold on a little bit. I think there was an issue of the loan. I've answered the debt. The debt. No, before I go there. Death of 27 people. I am very embarrassed, Frank. As a citizen first, not as a president. That on our soil, 27 people be dumped. Human beings. How did they get here? From the Horn of Africa. How did they reach this place? Who carried them? Human trafficking. In such inhuman condition. That's where we need China, America, Japan, everybody, France, to work with us on technology. Let us see what is in that truck from origin as it crosses borders. How can people be dumped in a fuel tanker? That tanker is meant for fuel, not for human beings. So we must all work together to secure our wealth. I'm sure now you see the need for cooperation. Those with the technology, let's make it available. Let's check the trucks. In Muchinji and Mwami border, I said, we should have bought one-stop border post. I said we should have non-stop border post. But human trafficking, we must watch it. I didn't even know that this thing will happen. And that technology is our answer. Technology is our answer. And the world has it. The richer nations have the technology. Let's share the technology at a fair price. To secure not just Zambia, to secure Africa and the world. We are in on that one. To work to secure a safer world, secure world, we can focus on the economy and social development. And this is important. Now, the issue around security, I think I've touched on. We are in it. We must exchange notes to secure our countries and the world. Debt. Debt. I was talking of the IMF program. Now, the principles of debt restructuring have been agreed. What we need to do now, Frank, is the content. Part of our meetings last week was around this issue. I know you're not the one who asked the question. It is to ensure that Zambia, the debt overhang we have, which is basically disturbing our macro management issues, releasing resources to the development side of the equation. We must deal with this issue. So there are 4 things that we are focusing on now, where we are. 1, overall because it's not sustainable, it's not for the country's economy cannot afford. That's why there was default before we came into government. Secondly, we really need to freeze the interest, because even if it's not being serviced, it's dead, but interest is accumulated. And it is already going beyond the numbers. Not that we created it, but we have a duty to clean up, because government is a living thing. Those who did what they did, they're gone. They messed us up. Now it's us to clean the mess. That's why they must sometimes keep quiet. Right? Number 3 is to conclude the debt restructuring negotiations like yesterday. Number 4, Frank, our desire as a country, and we appeal to our creditors, global community, some are seated here. We thank you for your support to give us a relief for a while, but that's not the solution. Let's close the MOU, the content, hopefully by end of March. That's the Zambia target. So we're persuading our colleagues to come to the table. They've already done so far, so much. We ask them to walk an extra mile. You'll be pleased, Frank, that we're engaging country by country, category by category, including the Eurobond borders. One thing, Frank, there was recklessness in the leadership. We now know it. Before we took office, we were just saying it's like that. Now we know. They went to borrow recklessly, borrowed at a high cost when they could access money at 1%, at a certain level. Just to tell you, as citizens, the moves we took to access financing at a lower cost. The money from the World Bank we're getting is 0.75%, as opposed to 8, 9, 10, 12%. You don't have to be clever to know that already that's a different way of doing things. The IMF, zero interest. Have you ever heard the IMF give money 0 interest? We've managed to do it. We've managed. Goodwill, credibility, coming straight and clear, and being honest is part of what we've been able to do. I don't want to announce something. It's the wrong platform. We have some good news that's coming. We'll announce it after I consulted the Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Energy. We'll be covering that on Thursday. Some good news. But we have to utilize that opportunity and not waste it, and not access money for consumption. Not access money to buy a plane that costs 60 million, 65, you spend $191 million. That's not how you use people's money. Come on. Thank you.